Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Enlisted point of view. So today we are going to be talking about what this podcast is going to be about. Before I jump into that and start rambling, a little bit about me. I've been in the Navy 9 years. Been at 5 different commands. I've worked with Army. I've worked with Air Force. I've worked with Marines. I've worked with officers. I've been around. I know well enough the ins and outs of how things run in day-to-day life. And even if I don't know a specific topic very well, I know someone that does. So with that said, let's just jump into other things that we may talk about. One of the things I want to do is I want to try to bring in people from other branches so they can bitch and complain, or they can tell us about what their life is like. This podcast is going to be focused on telling our story, telling things we think are good, what things we think are bad. It can be used as a recruiting tool, or if there's someone that's like, oh, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Well, if maybe they're thinking about joining the Army or the Navy or the Air Force or whatever, maybe at some point I can have somebody on that can actually tell what life is like on that end of the spectrum. Because I had a great recruiter. My recruiter, to this day, I still remember him. He told me how it was. He was like, all right, this is how it's going to be. This is the way the Navy is. If you don't like it, well, get the fuck out. I was like, oh, cool. All right. And I still enlisted. But I've met so many people, especially when I was a younger sailor, that they were like, oh, my recruiter told me this, or my recruiter told me that, and blah, 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 and basically just lied straight to their face and screwed them over. And, I've seen a lot of guys get out because of it. That's not the way it should be. And this is a place where someone has the potential to listen in and get the truth of things. But also, for those of us that are still in, be it enlisted or officer, we have the chance to tell these guys what we think, whether or not the new uniforms are good, whether or not there are policies for some stupid tasks that we have to do, whether those policies make sense or they don't make sense, and we can't really talk to them about it because, well, they're just a bunch of jackasses. Policy is just one example. There's so many different things. Not only that, but it's a place where we can come together, tell sea stories. I've got a few. They're not really the greatest, but there's so many of you out there. I've talked to people that have some amazing sea stories, or I don't know what the other branches call them, but everybody has some story. Some of them are funny, some of them are sad. Along with that, there's also the other side of a teaching tool, right? So we can get new instructions and new policies that are coming out, and we can go over them and say, okay, well, this is exactly what you need to do. This is what you need to cover. I can try and branch out and have different segments and bring on someone from the Air Force and have them talk about their new policies and break it down like that to where we have it in a segmented fashion. Or hell, maybe even I can get some co-hosts which are from different branches. There's so many ways that this podcast can expand, and eventually I would really like it to. But the main topics that I want to cover is I want us to be a community. I want us to be a place where we can tell sea stories. I want it to be a place where we can come together and bitch, and we can talk about how new policies affect us, how new leadership affects us, how evals, and anything that has to do with your career and advancement, how that can affect you. And interviews where we can talk about different branches and how their life is different from our life in the Navy or as a civilian. Because every time I've looked up military podcasts, what do I find? Oh, military veteran. So that means they're out, they're a civilian, or I'm retired, right? Or Navy SEAL, or military, or special forces. These guys, the ones that are already out, they're veterans. Well, they're out. They're done. They don't know what current life is like. And then you have the SEALs and the spec war guys They live a completely different lifestyle. They have no idea what we deal with. Now, I'm not saying those guys don't have a hard fucking life, because, well, they do, but they signed up for it. And if I wasn't a fat body, you bet your sweet ass I'd sign up for that. Because, I mean, that's a kick-ass job. Who wouldn't want to do that, right? But the point is their lifestyle is so different, because they can basically do whatever the fuck they want. And they get all of the military money. Like, that's where all of our allotment goes, right? Because they spend money on boats and gear and, just random high speed shit that they have, right? So that's all you can find. You can't find somebody that's actually in and is willing to speak the truth. So that's what I want to do. I want to tell the truth. I want to tell you my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to share your thoughts, your ideas, your opinions. And who knows? Maybe at some point in the near future, somebody reaches out and they're like, hey, I don't like the way you're doing things, but I like your ideas, and, we want to hear from you more. Maybe we build influence. That's what I want to do. Because we all need somewhere to vent. We all need somewhere to share ideas. We all need a place where we can go, oh man, yeah, that guy's right, and we can just all jump on it, right? Because that's who we are as people. And come on now, you can't tell me you ain't been standing watch at some point in time and just bitch to the partner that you're with. Lord knows I have. So here's where we can do that. All right, let's recap this, because I know I've been rambling. Talk about any updates on policy, any training, anything that is noteworthy of primarily Navy information, because I am in the Navy. We're also going to talk about what military life is like for Navy, Air Force, Army, and Marines, and anybody else. We're going to tell sea stories and try and build a community and share things that we love and things that we hate. I mean, what more could you want? So that's the basics of it. It's basically what you guys want. I'm gonna try and listen to your feedback and honestly take it under advisement and really try and lean into what you guys want to hear. I'll try to do call-ins and stuff where you guys can actually come on and speak for yourself. Obviously anonymously, well, if I could talk today, anonymously if you'd like. But that's it. The goal is we'll start with doing a podcast minimum once a month. The goal will be once every other week. So we'll see how that pans out. Military life is it's always hectic. You never know when you're going to get called in for some dumb shit. So with that said, that's the show. I would love to hear your ideas, thoughts, and opinions. So thanks for stopping in, and I look forward to hearing from you. See you guys. Appreciate the commitment, but come on, guys. What the fuck are you still doing here? Go home. Get back to work. Do your fucking job.